Well, he's a veteran with more than 20 years at the company and a key architect of Canon's marketing and communication strategies in India.
#CANwithCanon is our umbrella theme. Our employees are women employees, and we know the difficulties that each one go through. The challenges for a women employee is much more. There is no doubt India is a very competitive market. Right?
Yeah.
I would be lying if I say no, it isn't. And you should visit our office and talk to some of them.
Hello everyone, today we are in conversation with Mr. Sukumaran, Senior Director, Product and Communication at Canon India. Well, he's a veteran with more than 20 years at the company and a key architect of Canon's marketing and communication strategies in India. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So my very first question to you is that Canon in India has been there for like around 30 years now?
Yes, 3 decades in India.
That's great. So how has brand's marketing strategy evolved over the years, I would say, and that, how it has stayed relevant across such a diverse consumer group?
Interesting question. So let me focus on who our consumers are, right? And then maybe we get into how do we create demand? How do we reach out to these consumers? So Canon, interestingly, have a very strong balance between B2C and B2B.
Sure.
Where we have, we cater to home consumers at one end, and then we cater to the enterprise and large government customers. So we cater to varied customer set. The challenge is, how do we reach out to these set, right? So we've used all the ways that's available, but pre-COVID to post-COVID, there was a big difference. Pre-COVID, high investment used to be on the print. Right? Newspaper was one of the biggest medium that we used. But things changed post-COVID. Today, if you ask me, digital is our biggest driver of our investment. So that's the way that we've looked at. But India being such a large country, one way is not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? So we use every mode from digital to a lot of consumer activation on ground, especially for, let's say, one of our biggest customer set is a copy shop, right? The small and medium enterprise. Preference for us is to go to them where they are, right? So we use that as a mode. But digital, no doubt, for home consumers, digital is one definite way that we've reached. So what has changed? Well, I think digital first is one big aspect. But we know if we need to reach out to those tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, a combination of both digital and on-ground activation is the way. So we have a very good balance between these two. Yeah, that's how our approach has been.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the popular hashtag which everybody is talking these days.
Yeah.
So it's like the Can with Canon campaign, right? So it is positioned as an umbrella platform, as we all know that.
Sure.
So what was the thought process behind creating this narrative, and also how does this strengthen Canon brand voice in India?
Yeah, #CANwithCanon is our umbrella theme, where we are reaching out. The whole purpose was to reach out to our consumers, our partners, and our employees. So we use this theme to connect with all our stakeholders that we have. So that's the broad reason why we have this theme. But under this, we for example, reach out to our own employees, right?
Yeah.
And we have a recent campaign where we really focused on women employees and how are we focused on gender balance, and how do we ensure that we give them a bit of a special treatment, but ensure that they're productive. So that's one of the examples. Then we have a campaign focused towards technology, right? Where we say that Canon's basic ethos is we are a technology-oriented organization, and how is it making a difference to our end consumers? So we have a campaign running on that. So that's the whole idea of having Can with Canon. You can do everything with Canon. towards our consumers, towards our employees, and our partners. And I'll talk a little more about partners a little later.
Okay. All right. So my next question is moreover on the same lines itself.
Sure.
That hashtag CANwithCanon, which is like, if I may correct myself with that, hashtag CANwithCanon, which you just mentioned right now, and India hashtag CANwithCanon highlights both the inclusivity alongside innovation.
That's true.
So how important is that for Canon to link its brand storytelling with large social and cultural conversations ahead?
Yeah, interesting question, because our basic philosophy is, how could technology reach our people? That's how it is. So first and foremost was our employees. They are our first customers. So SheCANwithCanon was all about our employees, our women employees, and we know the difficulties that each one goes through. The challenges for a women employee is much more, and we all know about it.
That's great. I'm so sorry for interjecting that. At least you guys are, referring to that and working towards that.
Do, and we do care a lot. And you should visit our office and talk to some of them. But the idea was that, how could we make their life easier, make their life more comfortable, without compromising on productivity. Right? We have that balance. That's one part of your question. The other part was technology, and we are, as I mentioned, a tech organization. And what is the use of tech if it does not have an application to our consumers? Right? And if you go through these campaigns, you'll find that some of our customers speak about how has our tech improved their productivity, which is clearly profitability. So that's a combination. So one side we look at our ecosystem of our employees, the other side we look at tech, how it can add value to our consumers. So that's the whole idea.
Okay, great. So my next question is that Canon today serves a very diverse group, and as we were just discussing about it, your segments include creators, for that matter, students, entrepreneur, and who not, for that matter. So how do you ensure your marketing speaks to such varied audiences without actually diluting the core brand identity of Canon?
Yeah, interesting again, because our consumers are varied, which is a big advantage for us, but also a challenge to reach out, and we are a very large country. So let's pick up, let's say, home. Home is one of our biggest consumers, because we have printing solutions for home segment. We use digital as the first and the biggest mode to reach out to home consumers. While the other side is enterprise, right? Enterprise organizations think differently. They need to reach out. The way to reach out is quite different there. For example, we use, again, digital, LinkedIn, for example, right, to reach out to the C community. Not enough. We do on-ground, for example, we do on-ground new customer acquisition program, where we invite our prospective C-level consumers to showcase our technology and solutions that we have. Enterprise, it's not really easy for us to simply show it over digital and not show it practically, because they like to see how it goes. So we do a lot of on-ground activations. So to give you a number, we've done about 10 such events in the last 6-8 months in the large metros. So we reach out to enterprise directly through these on-ground activations. So quite varied. Home I spoke about, enterprise I spoke about. There is a segment called photo print, right? That's a big one, right? Photo labs, for example, right? We participate in a lot of exhibitions, which is focused clearly on photo segment. So we are available, and we would do maybe at least about 50 such events in the last 12 months. So that's how we reach out. So combination of both digital and on-ground activation is the secret recipe of Canon.
Okay, now that I know your secret recipe, my next question is that in the digital first world, as we are discussing about it, that how much priority needs to be given to digital, considering that how the world around us is evolving. So how Canon basically balances traditional marketing strength with the new age formats? Now that we know a lot of influencers and content creators are around, a lot of brands are looking at their work and collaborating with them. So what is basically your take onto that? That how basically you engage with the community engagement and how basically Canon is working in that space?
Yeah, so I think influencer marketing, which is very, very popular these days, is one definite method for us to reach out to our audience. But your specific question of how do you balance between, I think, digital versus on ground is to do more with customer set.
Okay.
If it's, let's say, a home consumer, right, I would say 80-90% of our investment there would be on digital. Look at, let's say, a small and medium enterprise, a coffee shop, 80-90% is on-ground activations. So maybe 10-15% would be digital. Enterprise is a very well-balanced, maybe 50-50% investment between reaching out to them through digital versus on-ground activations, and that's how. So it's really to do by each customer segment is how we define our investment, although challenging. Be honest with you, pre-COVID we would have close to 80% of our investment on print. Post-COVID, it's about 60-40 in a way. Still, print on-ground activations is still a very active mode to reach out to our consumers. Nothing goes away in India easily. So print is still a very strong medium for us to reach out to, especially tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. And if you look at our business, the growth is coming highly from tier 2, 3 and 4. So obviously the mode to reach out to them could be a little different than the metros that you and I operate in. So that's
okay, understood. So Canon is also positioning itself very strongly in business solutions beyond imaging.
Yeah.
So how is marketing helping drive adoption and truth in these newer categories? What would you like to say about that?
Okay, so I think one of our biggest challenge for last few years has been that we've been able to crack was we are known as a very strong camera and a printer brand.
Yes.
Right? It's a very well-known fact.
Sure.
And you go into an enterprise customer, they'll say, okay, you have a managed print services, right? That's our offering to our customers. What more do you offer? And that's the question that comes in, right? So over a period of last, I would say a decade, we have changed our proposition from simply a managed print solution to a managed document solution. It means we do not only focus on print management, we focus on digital document management.
All right.
So it means customers using both a digital copy and a print, we provide solutions around this. So that's from a solution-centric approach. How do we reach out to them? The answer is similar. Through the large CIO forums, right? We have the CXO forums, CIO forums. We are one of the players who very actively participate there, because the CIOs really, the top 200, top 300 comes in there, and that's where we ensure that we project ourselves as a document management organization and a solution-centric organization. So that's how we reach out to the enterprise segment.
Okay. So, customer trust is very integral part for that matter in every domain, I would say. So, customers' trust has been central to Canon's journey in India as well. So, what role does brand communication play in reinforcing this trust, especially in competitive segments like printing and surveillance?
Yeah, I mean, a very, very competitive space that we play in. And thankfully for us, 3 decades has been exceptionally good from that perspective, because our ethos has been customer at the center. So every decision that we make in the organization is always to keep customer at the center and create processes around it.
Sure.
Else we start to get lost within the organizational process, but not the customer. But we've always done that. As a Japanese organization, the focus has been how do we set the infrastructure for the customer. Customer doesn't need just the product, right?
Yeah.
Availability is one aspect. The second important aspect is the serviceability, right?
Yeah.
How am I providing them great service in that period. So from that perspective, as a Japanese organization, we have ensured that our point of sale have a professional approach, our services have a professional approach. So that's the base of our organization. Now, how do we ensure that we are relevant? Obviously through great product, great service, and the beauty about Canon is that we are constantly seeking feedback from our consumers and ensure that it reaches our R&D folks, so that the next in line products come in with the features and solutions that the customers need.
Sure.
So that's part of our basic ethos. How do we reach out to them? Well, we have our very strong distribution, right? For example, we have close to about 4,000 retailers, active retailers in the country that we reach out to.
Okay.
We use the large format like the Reliances and Chromas. We use the e-commerce like the Flipkart and Amazon. So we have at every touch point the customer is, we ensure that we are available. Other element is on ground activations. We have a lot of channel meets that happen on ground. We have tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 especially, right? We do have these channel meets where we go in, meet up with them, show them the new product and our offerings. So that's one of the way. Digital definitely, on grounds definitely, to ensure that we keep ourselves relevant in that audience.
Understood. So, I think you would be the right person to question this, that how competitive Indian market is today in terms of, we see that every day new brands are coming in.
Yeah.
You've been there in India for good 30 years now. You would, I'm pretty sure you must have cracked it by now that, what's that code?
So there is no doubt India is a very competitive market, right?
Yeah.
I would be lying if I say no, it isn't. But if we set our basics strong, whether it's the product, whether it's the services, whether it's the application, right? We can be number one. And the good part is we either are number one or number two in India market. And we're not the cheapest. We are a premium player, but we still know what's that sweet spot pricing that the customers need.
Yeah.
For example, enterprise, right? Very competitive. We are number one for the last 9 years in a row. So it's because we've been able to create a model. Price is one definite factor, but it's the other elements like the services, the product, the application. That package is what we've been, I think, able to build very strongly with the Indian consumers.
I think that's the reason that customers keep coming back, because that's also equally very important that customers, fixate themselves to a particular brand.
Yeah.
So that is also happening with Canon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, looking ahead, what are the key priorities of Canon's India's marketing strategy,
Sure.
both in terms of customer engagement and sectoral impact as well?
Yeah, so as we look forward, and we call it our midterm strategy, right? Two major focus. The first part is in our existing business domains, like printing is our one of our biggest engines, right? Where we're looking at expanding ourselves to deeper and deeper into our country, right? Tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And we see a lot of action happening there. We see our growth in tier 2, 3 and 4 faster than the metros. So the growth ratio is much faster there. So one is we want to reach out to our consumers through our channel expansion. The other is to focus on verticals, right? Especially our marketing strategy is really focused on vertical based approach. For example, auto industry, aviation, banking and financial, pharma, right? These are our top target verticals that we've been focused on. So, and we'll continue to do that in the coming years, because the verticals that I speak about also focus very high on document management, right? Whether it's print management or digital document, there's a very high focus. So we really focus. One is to reach our country to tier 2, 3 and 4. The other is on these verticals. That's one part of our strategy.
Okay.
The other part is more focused towards our new business element, like network surveillance, right? We are playing a critical role now, and we started this recently into the smart city projects, right? The surveillance solutions that we have. So that's the other big growth story that we have as we look forward in the coming MTP period. Yeah.
All right. That was a great conversation with you, and I'm sure that a lot of people must have gotten a lot of good insights. Thank you so much for this lovely conversation.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure. Thank
Same
you
here,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.